A lot of people, unfortunately, see the displaced people and the migrants as merely numbers. We are often quantifying them as number of men, number of women, number of children, number of elderly. I want to know, Abdullah, how did your family rebuild a life? And especially because you have been very, very successful academically as well as professionally. You went to the American University of Beirut. Please tell us how the family put a life together.
I mean, I always say this whenever anyone asks, that older generation is a different breed. They are not like us. We have now become a bunch of spoiled brats, for lack of a better word, but they are the ones who worked hard and made sure that they did everything for us. Now we have become a little bit more selfish, a little bit more self-driven more than anything else. And I can only thank my parents for everything they've done for me, because my dad was the first one in his family who got an education. His brother was number 2. So again, credit to my grandparents for making sure that they get a better life than they did. And I can honestly say every single penny my dad had went on our education. And he compromised on everything for us to go to the best education. And my mom is an angel. Like, my mom is everything. Yeah, everything that we are today, credit to her. And they made sure that we know what we can become and what we can do as we move forward. At that time, all 4 of us went to the best school in Lebanon. It's no longer the best school, but back then it was. And then we went to the American University of Beirut, which back then also was the best university in the region. And we all made it. My brother is head of private banking at BNP Paribas, which is the biggest European bank. My sister is the CFO at Jaguar Land Rover, and I am what I am.
So Abdullah, was it the hardships that made you more ambitious?
I wouldn't say that, to be very honest. I think as a Palestinian, you're born resilient. Without you having to do anything.
It's just your DNA.
Yeah, exactly. I would give credit again to my parents, because they were strict in terms of values, they were strict in terms of upbringing, but they were never academically strict. So it was never about the grades, it was more about what do I bring to the family. So it was always about what's your contribution. And doesn't have to be financial, obviously. It's more about the moral contribution, the mental contribution. Am I there when my sister needs me? Am I there when my mom needs me, etc., etc.? So it kind of prepared me for life and prepared me for the corporate world, because at the end of the day, academics teach you a lot, but the content of it does not go with you forever. It's more about your preparation for the next steps, preparation for the corporate world, and how you make the most of it.
So Abdullah, how did the tea business happen to you? And I must draw your attention to the cup of tea that we have.
Please.
Have you had it the Pakistani way, by the way?
I've had it always.
Why don't you have it the Pakistani way?
From the south to the north.
Nini, why don't you try it, this one?
Let me do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Take a sip. Cheers. Take a sip. Oh, you're not having the Pakistani way. The Pakistani way has to be a loud slurp. Let's try that.
No, okay. That's actually how we taste in the lab.
Yes.
So that is the real way of doing it.
Let's do that. Let's do that for the camera.
Okay. Close your ears, guys.
This is the ASMR part of our interview today, ladies and gentlemen. How to have tea the Pakistani way. You just mentioned this. That's how you have it in the labs. What does that mean?
That's the only way to taste tea, because you have to take as much of the flavors as you can when you slurp. If you just sip, you get more milk than tea.
So the English way of having your pinky up in the air doesn't get you the flavor.
No.
So ladies and gentlemen,
Sir Thomas more than anything.
So that was Sir Thomas, if you want to have it like the English royalty. But if you slurp, just go. If I must digress into Urdu right now, हम जिसको कहते हैं ना बड़ा बदतमीजी से चाय पी रहा है, एक्चुअली असल जो चाय का जायका होता है, जो फ्लेवर्स होते हैं वो उसी तरह आते हैं. So next time, don't be scared of doing that. So how did you get into the tea business?
Honestly, by chance, to be very honest. So I spent about 13 years in Unilever before. And 12 of the 13 years were in personal care. Only 1 year was in tea, and that was my last role.
Okay.
So I was heading the separation team for tea from Unilever in the Middle East. So that was my first exposure into tea. But tea has always been the number one pride category for Unilever. So when you ask anyone at Unilever, why are you proud of being at Unilever? They will say Lipton. They will say tea, because at the end of the day, it's the only category where we manage from garden to shelf. Yeah, because we have the plantations, and then we have our own factories, our own warehouses, our own distribution unit, and then we also manage the sales. So, and that doesn't exist in any other category. There is always a third party somewhere in the way.